This is a representative ethnic song sang by the Bouyei Ethnicity by the Bouyei children. Yet perhaps you might didn't understand any of the lyrics as it is sung in Bouyei's distinctive Tai Kudai language. Bouyei, or Buyizu in Mandarin, is one of the minority ethnicities recognized in China, residing in mostly Guizhou. Yet it might still be your first time hearing about them. Bouyei has their own language and has no form of any written source of language. They lived in a rather more enclosed mountainous area, and then their life is mostly symbolic and oral, as like the art that we just saw, or their speech, or the songs that we just heard. Their indigenous wisdom buries in their life motto of the slower, the faster. That they utilize their information gap from their own culture that made us thrive so much. And then take a moment and think, how might an ethnic group like Bouyei inspire you? What might an ethnic group like Bouyei inspire you or offer to you? But before you think about this question, ask yourself, what do you want to become in the next 10 years? To major in business, become a business owner, to make lots of money, to be an influencer, a doctor, or I don't really care, I just want to get this essay over with. But in this process, what we often do is that we hustle, and we hustle. But in Bouyei, it is quite the opposite. I documented my whole journey in the Bouyei ethnicity, driving miles of curving mountain roads to an old village and into visiting Bouyei people in urban settings. Apparently, I came at a time where everyone was taking their afternoon nap. But still, I managed to interact with a few elder women sitting in front of the village selling handcrafted batik items. That is, dyed fabric made out of natural dyes. I was quite astonished by their still being able to stay in this little place. All of the things in this shop was blue. Their nails were blue. Their clothes were blue. Everything was just mere blue. And then they told me that they chose to stay in this place because the occasional tourists visiting was just enough to sustain their inner peace, and that they were proud of their works, proud of their shop. I was quite astonished by this answer, as simply maintaining inner peace was enough for them. How many of us are solely driven by monetary values of success that made us rush so much? Of course, that's what everybody does, right? Then I came across a young Bouyei man selling their authentic home product of flower wine in a trendy, pretty shop. I interviewed him as I was quite concerned about the amount of money that he could make in such a shop far, far away. He was once many of the hustlers and sitting in tall skyscrapers, he said, but then he chose to came back to his home because he felt bored. And he said he needed a significance in his action and a purpose in his action. And that is to bring this authentic product of the flower wine to a bigger stage. Of course, I bought a bottle. How many of us chose to stay in this busy urban world just because we liked feeling busy and we loved the privilege that Beijing offered us? Of course, at some point, you must have felt overwhelmed. Then I followed a trace of singing. I coincidentally walked into a local elementary school of Bouyei, and I sat through their music class. But first, I noticed that each one of the children's face has a purplish blue mark that represented their home, Bouyei. And that during the process of singing, each Bouyei children were asked to repeat their mother tongue of Bouyei language to perfection. Their teacher told us that it's not what matters, it's not the most important that they learn Mandarin first, but what's important is that they do not forget their mother tongue of Bouyei language. How many of us can confidently say that we've read enough Chinese books or we can speak the dialect of our own hometown? Of course, we have to complete our English standardized tests first. From elder to young, I learned two important life lessons. One, it is to perhaps find slow within the fast and drum to your own beat. But also, what's more important is to sprout knowledge within your own root. Grasp onto the distinctive experiences that your own culture have that others don't. I also documented scholars and businesses of Bouyei. These businesses succeeding beyond Bouyei culture, but focusing on Chinese cultural heritage. The first business, Genius Moms, a business focusing on modern innovations of batik, such as fashion gourmets and then natural dyed fabrics. And another one, Feng, a large business that focuses on making dolls, Juan dolls, like Barbie, but all of them handcrafted and wearing Chinese traditional costumes. These businesses are beyond successful, not just monetarily, but also they are a business for good. They offer job opportunities to deaf people in Guizhou, and they stay true to their home. They sprouted chances and opportunities within their home. Just like the Bouyei scholars, they crafted unique researches and papers on the batik and the songs of Bouyei ethnicity, where a simple pointy pattern on a batik can symbolize a dog tooth of a folklore. The young children, young adults, and elders of Bouyei are parallels of us, yet they might have grasped onto some truth that we fail to grasp. That is, to sprout knowledge within your root. Indigenous wisdom intertwines within every aspect of your life, no matter it's the art that they have, the speech that they say, or the songs, or simply worshiping their home as a gift from nature. But this is something that we lack to do. I am going to close with a sentence that a Bouyei girl told me when I was teaching at Huishi Middle School. She said that I couldn't quite understand all of the Mandarin on my textbook, but I do understand the art on it. And that is because I love art, and art can help me learn by it. So grasp onto the unique experiences that you have, and go back to the question of how might an ethnic group inspire you? Even a Chinese saying of 多喝热水, drink more hot water, could signify your own identity. Grasp onto your unique lens. Thank you.